Well, I may not be the first ever space engineer into space, but I might be the first one ever into space in a surface-only rover. um, oh, that's what it's done. It's ripped off my drills at the front. Um, I was building a rover that had drills on an arm on the front that was attached to the rotor. You can just see at the front of the conveyors there. And I was attempting to set the height of the height of the drills, and what's known in the game as clang. Unusual physics happened, and I got a bounce, and it bounced my rover. Not just into orbit, but into orbit and out of orbit. As you can see there in the distance, Moon Platinum, that's my Platinum base, and it's getting further and further away at a rate of 32 metres a second. And I have no thrusters on the rover because it wasn't. What's all the middle? All the middle's gone as well. My cargo container's exploded. Oh, right, that's gone as well. And so I am drifting off into space. Oh yes, my cargo container is completely exploded, the bit in the middle. And one of the batteries has exploded. And all the arm at the front with the mining drills on it has exploded. Oh, it looks like, I think the oxygen generator, has the oxygen generator exploded? Yes, the oxygen generator's exploded. I've got a full oxygen tank, but which is now no longer connected because it was connected through the oxygen generator. This little thing was only ever designed to roll around on its wheels. It was not designed to fly into space. I may end up back on Earth. I don't know. Actually, no. If I'm flying in that direction, am I going to miss Earth? Yes, I'm going to miss Earth, aren't I? By quite a way. I don't know what I can do. I think I'm just going to have to sit in my cockpit until my oxygen runs out. And then it will respawn me back at the nearest survival kit, which by that time will probably be the one on Earth. Oh, the lonely death of a Mindfiend. It's very strange. I was actually trying to design a drill that would work on a boom on the front of the rover, and the boom would go up and down to raise or lower the mining drills. And as I say, sometimes you get unexpected physics in the game, and that's commonly known as clang, K-L-A-N-G. And wow, to launch me into space, that's a bit much. Last night it just flipped my rover up onto its roof, and I had to put some thrusters on it to get it back into the right orientation. But of course then, because I needed the power, I took the thrusters back off again. They were only a temporary solution. And then of course it launches me into space. Not that they would have done any good, because they were actually, because I was on my roof, they were pointing up towards these solar panels. So all they would have done was push me down. So they would have pushed me towards the sun there. So they wouldn't have helped. But oh my goodness, I'm getting further and further and further away from the moon. From both my Platinum Mine base and Landau base, which is where me and Narlo originally landed. And there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to float through space until I suffocate. which looks like it'll take a while because I'm only down to 90. Oh, I'm down to 91 now. Yes, it's beginning to use up my oxygen now, I suppose, since the oxygen tank is not directly connected. It was connected. You can see that the large connector underneath the battery, just at the back there. The oxygen tank was connected through an oxygen generator to the cockpit. I suppose it's kind of a good thing it's not connected now, because otherwise I'd have to wait for an oxygen tank to run out of oxygen. Oh dear. I don't think I'm going to fly past Cogbinder's Folly, which is the space station we've got above the Earth. Let me just have a look. GPS, Cogbinder's Folly, show on HUD. Where are you? Oh no. It's 120 kilometers that way. I don't think my oxygen would last to get there anyway. But I might be respawning there, I might be respawning there, or I might be respawning back on Earth, depending on the angles. How bizarre. Sat on the surface of the moon, adjusted the angle of my boom, very small amount, from 0 to 10%, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, it just threw me into the sky. No idea why the cargo containers and everything else exploded, because there was no explosion. You can see right on the left hand side of the screen on the nose there, that's the rotor that had the drills attached to it. It wasn't actually touching any of the front tyres or anything. In fact, I moved it from the rotor that's on this side, that's just in front of the nose of the cockpit there. I was building another one further forward. It was clear of everything, and somehow it's thrown me into space. I haven't got the rover blueprinted because I hadn't finished building it, so it's not blueprinted, so I can't rebuild it. I'm just going to float out here, and one day in a million years I may float back in the orbit, and if you look very carefully from Cogbinder's Folly with a telescope, you might see the corpse of a Mindfiend inside a rover floating past. Oh well, looks like I've got a very long wait to die.